Hello everyone and welcome to the webinar of today. For those who don't know me yet, my name is Laura and I'm a part of the customer success team. And my goal for today is make sure that you guys understand our feature SQL datasets. I know there's a general debate on how to pronounce those three letters. You have people that say SQL or SQL. I'm going for SQL, just so you know. But what's on the agenda for today? First, what are SQL datasets? Secondly, I will tell you the advantages of this feature and what you also need to keep in mind when you work with it. And last but not least, I will go to Kumalio itself and show you an example so you can see everything for yourself. Alright, are you excited? Because I am. Let's get started. First, what are SQL datasets? So with SQL datasets, you can actually make a view in Kumalio on your database. And a view is a stored database query, which you can use as a table. And with the data in it, you can create powerful dashboards, of course. So before you had to create your views in your database itself and afterwards upload them in Kumalio or connect them in Kumalio. But now you can make those views in our platform itself, which is very easy, very handy because you have the full power on creating and also managing or adapting them. So this means it's directly under your control and it's maintained in Kumalio. Know that you can also create direct columns in them. You can share and activate caching. At the moment, this feature is active for the databases that you can see below. In my example, I will use PostgreSQL. So a view is a stored database query which you can use as a table, and the SQL datasets feature makes it possible to create views in our platform itself. So what are the advantages? First of all, it's for all the designer accounts that have connection with the database. You don't need edit rights anymore, and it also means that you can make the views in Kumalio itself, not in your database, and you don't need intervention from your database administrations anymore, which is very handy because then you can really work fully autonomic without anyone needed. Of course, if you're not familiar with the SQL language, it might be handy to ask your technical guys, but otherwise it's very handy that you can do everything by yourself and you have full control. And a huge advantage of this feature is that you can use the full power of the underlying database. This means that you can also make joins, subqueries, and even window functions and much more. So this is pretty exciting, but there are also some small things that you need to keep in mind when you work with this feature. No, as I told you before, it's not active for all the databases yet. And there's also no querying of your schema. So this means that if you're typing your columns in the query, there won't be auto-completion. But of course, the SQL keywords are highlighted and there is query validation once your query is finished. So that means that if you forgot something or there's a little mistake in the query, you will get an error message with more information on what you can do. So this is very handy as well. So these were already the basics. So what are SQL datasets? It's actually the possibility to create your own query or your own view in Kumalio itself. No need to create them upfront in your own database anymore. It's a very powerful feature or very powerful tool. And then, of course, we're gonna show you in Kumalio right now. So the example will be about a moving average volume for products. So I will show you how to create this view and how to adapt them. And in our example, we will use a subquery and also a window function to create the moving average over 5 days. So this window function, what is it? It's actually that the measures of multiple rows will be together, and then you can make calculations with them. So it's like a window that shuffles around. So let's go Camelayo then, guys. So I can show you. This is the most exciting part, of course. So here we are in the dataset overview where you can see all your datasets. Just as otherwise, you click on New Dataset, and I'm gonna use PostgreSQL connection. I already gave my credentials, so I am already connected. So when I click on the icon, I can see the different tables in the connection or in this database. And now on top you see there's a new tab called SQL Query. This is where the magic will happen. So first we need to give our new dataset a name. I'm going for products 5-day moving average volume. The first thing I'm gonna do in my query is making the subquery. This is a little bit of preparation for the window function, so I'm gonna make sure that all the volumes are together so that I only have like one row per product and per day, so that we can make our window function on day level. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my subquery. So it's from, I'm gonna start with select my columns, so that's sale date, products, and I'm gonna take the sum of my volume, and I'm gonna call that column volume. Alright, so then I'm gonna say it's from my United Widgets datasets, from United Widgets sales, and I wanna group by sale date and products, and then I'm gonna say that this is as subquery. So this is my subquery, guys, to make sure that I aggregate data already a little bit for my window function. It's a small preparation. So now I'm gonna start the query itself, or the head query or query. It's first select the columns, so the sale date again, products, and the volume column I create in my subquery. Then I want to have the average volume, but of course I want to have the 5-day average. So this means that I'm gonna use a window function which starts with over. And first I'm gonna partition by sale date. Sale date. I'm gonna order by product, and then I want to take the rows between 5 preceding and current row. There we go, guys. And then I gonna call it as moving average volume. So guys, this is my query. The first thing that I did was connect to my PostgreSQL database by giving my credentials. Once you're connected, you can very easily go to the SQL query tab, and there I made this query to make sure that I have first aggregated the data, that's thanks to my subquery, and then I have selected the columns I need and to have my average. But thanks to the window function, I can show you the average volume of the 5 days before. So this is a 5-day moving average volume example. Now, if your query would not be correct, or if you forgot something, you will get a red message or an error message which will tell you what's going on, what's wrong. But if it's correct, then you can click on create. And now you see that the new dataset is added in the dataset overview. And you can see that it's just as for the other datasets, you also have the little icons on the right side to share, delete, or go to the details. So how is my results? What do I see? I see my sale date column, the product column, the volume column. This I made with the subquery. It's the aggregated volume data for each day per product. And then I also have the moving average volume. Now you can see that everything is in chronological order, but I actually want to see, for example, all the rows containing end text underneath each other. So I want to adapt my query a little bit. That's very easy to do. You can just go to the details, edit query, and here you can execute the necessary changes. So here I'm gonna switch product and sale date to obtain my desired result. Click Save, and then when you open the dataset again, you will see that the changes are there immediately. So now I can see all my end-text products in chronological order. And let's say, for example, the 8th of February, I see that there is a moving average volume of 305.3. This is actually the average volume of today and all the 5 rows before. So from these values. Now you can see that the moving average is following along. For example, here you see that it drops to 91, so the moving average is dropping as well. So this is really the power behind making your views in Himalayo. You can adapt them very, very easily, and you don't need anyone else to do that. And of course, once you have created your view, you can make a powerful dashboard with it. You can play around with everything. So I already prepared a small dashboard. What I want to see now is a line chart where I can compare my volume with my moving average volume on a daily basis. So what I'm going to take is my date column as an x-axis, then the volume as a first measure, moving average volume as a second measure, which will be my second line. And you see it's a lot of data, therefore I have my filters on top, so I want to be able to filter on date and also on product. So now you can just play around with the filters, and then you can see that the dashboard is dynamic, everything changes, which is pretty cool. So you can also select just one product, for example. And as you can see very clearly now, the volume is going up and down, and the moving average volume stays between those ups and downs. And this is just very handy. You can, of course, also change your layout a little bit if you want to make sure that you can connect the line with the right value below in your legend. You can change the colors. You can also adapt all kind of stylings in the settings of the chart. Is very nice. And then you can, of course, change your total layout, let's say your theme. I prefer dark themes, so your dashboard can look like this, for example. I think it's pretty cool. So voila, this was it, guys. This was my example already. I showed you how to create and adapt a view or an SQL query based on your database, but the view is made in Himalayo itself. And then I also showed you, of course, how to make a small dashboard with the data. So now that my example is finished, let's get to a small recap on what we learned today. So with SQL datasets, you can make views in Himalayo, and a view is a stored database query which you can use as a table, and you can build dashboards with it. You can create and manage the views yourself, and you can really use full power of your underlining database, meaning that you can make joins or window functions and even more. And it's also possible to create the right columns and share or activate caching, and the caching will also enhance the performance of your datasets, so that's very nice. Alright guys, this was already it. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. I hope you learned new things, and I hope you can see how powerful this new feature is. Alright, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to support@kumul.io, and we are more than happy to help you out. Alright, thank you for your time and see you later. Bye guys. Reach out to support@kumul.io, and we are more than happy to help you out. Alright, thank you for your time and see you later.